Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I'm here to do a white hair tutorial as I've had many requests and it's really quite simple. I don't know why it may look difficult or complicated, but it's not that by any means. It's very simple to do, and this page may look familiar because I used this one from I believe this is the Dream in Red Mansions coloring book. I used these ladies in the front for testing things because they just make the perfect templates, so that's probably why it looks familiar. And then a couple of them I went around with just a blue super tip Crayola marker just to make a background so that the hair can stand out more, and I believe I'm going to use these two. I plan on using her, so I'm trying to use the ones that are in the best light because I know my lighting is trash like it always is. But yeah, I'm just going to demonstrate how I do white hair, and I do my white hair so many different ways, but I'm going to show the couple that I use most frequently. So more often than not, I use an alcohol marker base if it's a one-sided page, and if it's not a one-sided page, I'll use a pencil base, or I will just pick out of, let me just grab them, out of my Crayola Super Tips markers. These are water-based markers, and I don't mind using these on one-sided pages or double-sided pages because they do not go through. At least that's been my experience, because they don't go through if you don't like shred it into the paper. They should be fine. So I have a couple of, well, it's plenty of light grays that you can use that this 100 set comes with, and I typically use one of these as a base, an alcohol marker as a base, like I said, if it's a one-sided page, or I'll just use straight up pencil. However, for this demonstration, for this one right here, I'm going to use alcohol marker. So the color that I like to use in the Ohuhu set, I believe I have the 40 set, or I don't know, I have a low set. It's this one right here, and I don't remember which set I have. These are from Amazon, so they always have them on there if you would like to order them. Then these are alcohol markers, but because this is the front of the book, I don't care about that, so it's totally fine. So let me find the fine point. I will just go ahead and put a base down. So let me zoom in. Perhaps that will help. Not really sure how much more that'll help because I know my lighting is trash. So typically I just go ahead and put a layer of the alcohol marker down. No particular way, doesn't really matter. I also do my white hair with watercolor paint. I just do my white hair so many different ways. Sometimes I can use gouache as a base, or Posca, I don't know. Sometimes I just leave the paper white and I do gray, light gray hair strokes. So I just have a various method that I use depending on whatever mood I'm in, is how I pretty much go about doing it. But I decided to finally get off my lazy bum, make this video because I've had some inquiries. Okay, so here is my base. So next, what I like to do is go through my pencils. Now I already know which colors I will use in my Prismacolor, but I'm going to use my polys for this one, and I don't know my polys very well, so I like to see which grays that I would like to use. And I typically go for a cold gray or a cool gray because it's a bit lighter and more blue tone as compared to the warm grays, which are darker and have more like brown tones. So I pretty much stick with the cool or cold grays in whatever pencils that I'm using. So the color that I'm looking at right now would be Cold Gray 3 and Cold Gray 1. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out really quickly. Okay, I am back with my cold grays. So I have Cold Gray 1 and Cold Gray 2 and my polychromos. I think I said those two, didn't I? Or did I say Cold Gray 3? Hold on, let me look, because clearly, what is this? 2 and 1. No, I wanted 3. I grabbed 2. Hold on, let me grab the proper gray. Oh, here it is. This is 3. I grabbed the wrong one. Make sure you have the right gray. So let me go ahead and sharpen this. So a pro tip, I'm not a pro, but a pro tip, make sure if you are uncertain, get a scratch paper, swatch out your marker base and the pencils that you think you would like to use on a scratch sheet of paper. If you are uncertain, do not do this on your person first, or your fur, or whatever you're going to use this for first, because you may be wrong about your colors. I do this all the time, so I'm pretty certain about which colors I would like to use. Use a scratch paper if you are unsure before you go ahead and do this on your actual picture that you would like to use. So what I like to do after I put my marker base down is I like to go in with my darkest color, and this is Cold Gray number 3, again in the Polychromos, if you can see that. And I like to go ahead and just put my hair strokes in. So I'll go ahead and start here at this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some hair strokes in, and I'm using the method where you just flick your pencil and you lift it off the page a bit. So just going to go around, flick my pencil, and put my darkest colors where I would like it. Now it's not really that dark because again we are doing a white hair, quote unquote, so you don't want it to be really dark. So for here I'll just go ahead and swoop, because that's what it looks like it's doing for this type of hairstyle. I just follow the lines that the artist has already put there as a guideline, and when you do that, you pretty much will have perfect hair because it's how they drew it and you can't go wrong. So I'm not really trying to make it too dark, but in the roots I do want it to be kind of dark. So it just depends on, you know, the look that you are going for, how dark you would like it, because you can use a warm gray. I've used warm gray before, and it doesn't take away from the white hair, because once you add your Posca and your white gel pen, it will pretty much all come together. It just depends on how dark you would like the roots or the darkest part of your hairs to be. So that's pretty much how it looks once I add my darkest color. Now I'm going to come in with Cold Gray 1. And this is the lightest color. And you really are not going to be able to see this too much over the marker, because it's pretty much the same color. I just do this for fullness. And then again, it may not even matter, simply because once I add the white, you know, it's just going to be non-existent. But it helps, you know, it just helps to have nice layers. So I just go ahead and put this color in. And this does match really closely to, this is my darkest gray. I missed this side. This does match really closely to the marker. So I really made that like a perfect pair there. So now I'm going to take my Posca pen. And this is a 0.7 mm or a 1 mm. I'm never sure because it has, let me see if I can make it focus. Come on, you can do it. Maybe not. I believe in you. This is how you have to pep talk your camera. Okay, so it does not. Okay, there we go. So it's a 1 mm or it's a 0.7 mm. I'm never sure, but it's this nib here. It's the fine point one. So what I am going to do, and the reason I outlined this in blue again was because I told y'all it will help me to make the hair stand out a little bit better, that you can see. So just go on, and what is really, really, really advantageous is to take out all the black lines. So if you have a heavily black outlined hair, you will be a minute. And I've done it on a heavily black outlined hair, and yes, you will be a minute trying to get all the black lines out. And getting the black lines out just helps it look more natural, like it's actually supposed to be white. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right here. and some of my super tip is blending with my Posca, but I expect it to do that because it always does that. So I'm just, you know, going around taking out the white that the illustrator, the artist has already put in here. And you really want to get rid of those because it helps overall the end result of the hair. And I'm just going to go ahead, come on down. So I like to get rid of the black lines first because then it can give me kind of a guideline, like how many of the white strokes that I would like to put in myself after I see like I've outlined everything. So that's pretty much what we're looking like. Maybe if I move my tripod a bit and then zoom in a little bit more, y'all can see a little bit better. Sorry that was so far away. So yeah, so now that I'm happy with kind of how I outlined most of the black lines, I will come in now and really do my hair strokes properly. It kind of looks good like this already, right? Like once you take out the black lines, it really makes a difference. So now I'm just going to go and add my white lines in to taste, like however I would like them, how many of them I would like. You don't want to do too many because it will like take away from the overall effect. But you do want it represented fairly well. So since this is a braid, I'm just going to do a few in the braid. So essentially you're just doing the flicking motion like you normally would do when you do strokes of hair. And that's pretty much all you're doing. So it's not difficult at all. It's fairly easy. Very, very simple to do. And just making sure I get all my hair strokes on this side. And you can use a blue gray marker base or pencil base. You can use a pale purple gray. I've done it with everything, like every kind of base, and I just know the different results that I'll end up getting. So I've been doing this for, how long have I been obsessed? Well, I've always been obsessed with white hair. I love white hair. I'm trying to get my hair as close to white as possible, but it won't do that because my hair is really like dark brown in real life. But yeah, I just love white hair, and I love seeing the older women and their white hair, and it just looks so heavenly and like a crown, and I love it. And I was like, I cannot wait for my hair to turn white. I'm a weirdo, I know, but I love white hair. Okay, so that is pretty much how it will look. I mean, this is a small, teeny, tiny little head, so I mean, you know, we get what we get as the result. So it may not look super fantastic like my hair normally does on a bigger head, but I'm going to do this one now, and so I think I should use a pencil base. So let me get my Prismacolors, and we will do this as a pencil base, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. I have my Cool Gray 50%. This is the darkest color. And then I have my Cool Gray 30%. This is the lightest color. I have pencil shavings on my fingers. And I may or may not use my Cool Gray 70%. It just depends on if I would like it to have this contrast of this dark of a color. But we are going to start with the Cool Gray 30% as it is our lightest color. And we're just going to go ahead and put a base down and lightly put this base down. You don't want to bear down because if you bear down, you will smooth the tooth of the paper, and then you will not be able to put your hair strokes in. And also, you don't want this to be really dark because we are going for white hair. Alright, I don't know if this is hair or not. I think this is hair on this side. I mean, it really doesn't matter because I'm never going to color this anyway. In real life, these are just some practice little faces, so it really doesn't matter. But I don't know, I believe this part is some hair, or I don't know, whatever. Okay, so we have the base down, and next I will take my 50% cool gray. Again, this is the darkest color, and we will just simply go ahead and put the hair strands in. I'll start from this bun part because I think, you know, that's part of the headdress. So yeah, I'm using these little tiny heads. I thought about, because I have some copies of some larger heads, like some larger ladies, but I just chose this because it's just ready-made. I don't have to exert much effort to get some practice faces and hairs going. So I'm just doing the same thing, a flicking motion, following the illustrator's lines. And we're just going to make sure she got some hair in the front here. And so this is pretty much how I do my white hair with the pencil base. Now you will need a Posca or a white gel pen, of course, to take out the black. That is essential. If you don't have one, you probably could use a really thin paintbrush and use acrylic paint, because that's all a Posca is acrylic paint. You probably could do a really thin paintbrush, but I've not ever tried it with a paintbrush because I have the convenience of having a Posca. So, but I'm pretty sure you could do it because I plan on doing some white hair with my gouache, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to pull that off with a paintbrush. So this is pretty much my darkest part, so I'm going to come back in with my 30% gray. And because this is a pencil base and not the marker base, you will be able to see these pencil strokes in the hair, versus when we did earlier, you couldn't see our lightest color because it matched so perfectly with the marker. So we're just going to go ahead and put these hair strokes in. I still don't know if this is hair. I know this is hair. I don't know what the deal is with that part right there, but you know, I won't fuss with it too much. Okay, so as you can see, that's her hair going on right now, and I will come back with the same Posca that I had, the 0.7 or the 1M, and we will go ahead and take out the outline of her hair. It may have some pink on this. I don't know how pink just got on it. I didn't even touch anything pink. But, you know, might want to wipe it off if you're using it for something else, to make sure that you don't get it in your lovely lady's hair, or man's hair, or whomever's hair you're doing. But because these are like practice things, I really don't care. Okay, so I'm just going around making sure to take out the black lines. And the reason I say I take out the black lines first and then I gauge how many of my own lines to add is because if you have some hair that's drawn and it has quite a lot of black lines in it, you may not even have to add your own if you really need to take out all those hair strokes. So I'm at 18 minutes. So let me stop right here and start a new video before my camera cuts me off. So I'll be right back. Okay, we will continue now. So now I've gotten the black lines out. I literally just pressed stop and started again, so you did not miss anything. Just making sure I get the black lines out. Again, I'm uncertain as to if that's hair or not. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead with my flicking motion and add my own hair strokes. And make sure I get those going, and you just want to follow again how the artist has drawn the hair, and you just put them, you know, wherever you feel like you want to put them, whatever looks good to you. You can go ahead and do that. And this is so tiny, like I have such a tiny area to work with here, but I'm pretty sure you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. Okay, maybe I will like want to take a little bit of the roots out from there. I went dark with. So you can go over you know, your pencil. If it was too dark, you can take some out. Just depends on, you know, whatever your taste level is for what you're going for your hair. And that's pretty much how I would do it with pencil. So I really hope, you know, my lighting is good enough so that y'all can see. Move my tripod back a bit. So yeah, those are the versions with the pencil base. This is the version with the alcohol marker base. And that's pretty much how I do my white hair. Again, it's nothing fancy and it's nothing complicated. And I believe that it's a fairly simple technique. And if you try it, by all means, feel free. You don't have to tag me or anything if you don't want to. But I am on Instagram, and I always put my Instagram in the description box below. And if I remember, I will put my pencils down in the description box below. But do not hold me to it because I did show them in the video. And, you know, my tip is just any pencil set that you have, you just pick out a darker gray, but not too dark, and a lighter gray. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to have these pencils. You can do any pencil brand that you want, just a dark gray and a light gray, and you'll be able to achieve white hair. But you know, the key really is your Posca or your white gel pen, and you just want the pencils or the darker grays in there for contrast so that it doesn't look so flat. So I really hope that everyone enjoys this. Everyone who's been asking, here you are, and I hope that it's helpful and that you try it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.